So here we are on our show that we don't have a name from. I just am recovering from surgery and we're at the house. Oh, there's the clipboard. So we're talking about, this is our show. Welcome to our show. Hi. Let me see if I
Hi.
can zoom in. I don't think we can. That's okay.
We'll do it that way.
All right. I'm not saying the so word. Welcome to our show.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Annie,
I'm Andrea.
and we're here to talk about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We are talking about what it takes to succeed
Yes.
in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
Success with relationships, success with goals, success with yourself, success with
Yeah.
inner peace,
Right. Success with living your dream,
living your dream.
right?
And your dream can change from day to day.
Absolutely.
Well, not day to day usually, but so we have what some call, like Prince EA says about,
Mm-hmm.
what did he say? Something about your dream picks you.
Yes, he said that Martin Luther King didn't have a dream. The dream gripped him.
Right.
And so then he had to, it just lit the fire within him to bring it to life.
Right.
And he was saying that a lot of us have that, but doubt steps in and steals it from us. So
More than doubt, of
more
course.
than doubt, yes.
So aside from our method and our training,
Mm-hmm.
somebody said to me, "Oh, that's so cool. You teach a course on positive thinking." And I said, "Absolutely not. I teach a course on facing emotions,
Mm-hmm.
which is the opposite emotions of positivity and joy and staying, what are more positive things?
Yeah.
Being your authentic self and all the just the positive side. We do not teach a course on positive thinking. Rather, we teach a course on facing the emotions that actually hold us back from being who we are, saying what we want to say, living our truth, being our authentic self. So
Mm-hmm.
we teach how to get to that positive side, but it's not through positive thinking
Right.
or positive quotes or positive anything. It's about the emotions that arise that we've never learned to manage and regulate, our dependency on everything giving us our worth outside of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so how, when we're placing our value outside of ourselves and so dependent on it, can we ever be who we really are and take those chances and fail forward all the time? Because your
Right.
focus is keeping everyone and everything on the outside of you, giving you your value.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a full-time job.
It is a full-time job. Plus, it's a full-time job feeling safe. And so, what we do is we convince ourselves that it's safer to sit back. It's safer to not say anything. It's safer not to upset the apple cart. It's safer not to make strides towards our goal. And that's another part of the reason why we stay stuck.
And
We have the fear that if we do step out, we'll fail, and if we do step out, that people will think badly of us, and if we do step out, we won't get that value that we're looking for,
that we're dependent on.
that we're dependent on.
And it's not like you actually think those things.
No.
You don't say, I need that person to give me my value, so I'm not going to part my hair on the right instead of the left today. Or
Mhm.
I don't want that person to think I'm rude. I mean, you do think that, but we are not as conscious when we talk about consciousness of minute to minute, day to day, how we hold ourselves back by our self-talk. From the minute that you wake up, you like have this desire or have this goal, but your brain or yourself tells you, as soon as you get stuff done,
Right.
as soon as I get all this stuff done, then I'm going to do this, or um, there's just roadblockers everywhere you go between your inner dialogue and then your performance for the world, and that your car is clean and your house is clean. It's just all this value that we are conditioned to place on the outside.
Absolutely.
And so I'm trying to watch myself right now, not get into our training, but to stay on our point.
Mm-hmm.
So when we were watching his video, we teach people to manage the emotions, the icky emotions, what somebody's going to think, feeling guilty, feeling anxious, feeling fearful, beating yourself up.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we talk about failure,
Right.
so failure, I'm in a phase right now, and Andrea's observing it, and we both are. I'm feeling it because I'm writing a book. And moving forward with some of these things and trying to get it perfect before it comes out. And so I've basically, metaphorically speaking, written the program for the iPhone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9,
Mm-hmm.
and not releasing them
Right.
because I'm waiting for it to get better. And when is it going to be good enough? And that is perceived as a failure at times
By whom?
by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so my first book, I keep saying to myself, what does somebody expect? A Stephen King novel? Is it supposed to like win the New York Times bestseller? Do I only get one shot? Do I get practice? Do I get to practice, or do I only get one book? And the vulnerability is whether you let a friend read it or you let the world read it.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to get everybody, and it doesn't matter. My attachment now is just to writing the book, and then I get to write another one, and then I get to
Right.
write another one, and then I get to write another one, or then maybe I'll do a poem. But I'm putting things out there whether they're good enough or not, and I never
Yes.
saw the trap, and I never ever thought it was possible. And the reaction to people when you're like, I'm releasing a book, and they're like, oh my God. And now I think, well, it's really easy. You just do it.
I love that. I love it.
And how people think it's, their reaction is like it's such a big deal. And I really honestly don't have an attachment to how good it is.
That's amazing. And we're at a time right now, which is so great, where, in the past, because I've written a couple books, right? In the past, I've been stuck in a place where like, I can't get an agent to buy into it. I can't, can't get this to get it published. I can't. All of these stumbling blocks, which feel like they are outside of my control,
Yes,
right? Which keep me stuck.
right. And
When-
judging that you're not good enough because
Right.
somebody hasn't bought it, or an agent, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And yeah, an agent to believe in me to then sell it to a publisher.
right.
So, yes, I mean, we're at a time in, right now where we actually can produce our own stuff and put it out there and
We're
not
doing it
need
right now.
anyone else, not need anybody else to buy into it, which is beautiful.
Right.
So then, if that's removed, what's truly holding us back?
Well, and that's what I was saying, even though the self-publishing or us just posting right now,
Mm-hmm.
no hair, no makeup, no rehearsals. We're practiced at it, and the daily practice that we teach is a method to get there with yourself, to be able to take these risks and take these chances, and slowly the outside world becomes smaller and the inside world becomes bigger. And the dependency is more on being dependent or attached to doing what you want to do, saying what you want to say, despite, and managing your emotions around the outcome with the outside world. And the outside world matters less and less to me and you
Yeah.
the more we practice failing forward, as they say. So it's interesting that, we teach failing
Mm-hmm.
or do-overs, or for me, my perfectionism was I would only have one shot. I would only have one shot to get it right. And now I get do-overs all the time. And so we were talking about the facing the icky emotions and facing the do-overs.
Yes.
And it takes tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it takes a lot, but rather than numbing out, escaping,
Right.
normalizing, holding ourselves back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in the past when we wanted to do something, those are definitely all things that we'd employ, right?
Mm-hmm.
That keep us stuck. And so now it's about facing those emotions and realizing that they have a purpose. And we talk about this all the time in training. Your icky emotions have a purpose. They're telling you something. And so it takes looking at it as a bad thing to looking at it as a really good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to face it, to acknowledge it, to move through it, to really understand what's underneath it. And that is how you sustain happiness.
Right.
Right? So instead of getting this big like dip like that, as you do it, you're like, okay, let's see. And it may dip at first, and then you bring yourself back up, and then you're like, notice something else. And the more practice you get at being there for yourself and realizing, being able to dig in and realizing exactly what it is, the easier it is to do it. And you look forward to it because it's informing you.
Well, and to expect it.
Right.
And also the realizing it is what we teach is the self-awareness piece.
Mm-hmm.
Becoming self-aware of our self-talk that is holding us back, becoming self-aware of the dialogue in our head that's telling us a saber-toothed tiger is going to get us or something bad's going to happen.
Right.
Or we can't do it because we don't, just all the lies, really.
Mm-hmm.
All the lies in our head. And so the first step is becoming self-aware. And we're not going to show you how to do it on this video, but we can teach you in our practice. But we actually have solutions, bulletproof, foolproof solutions to establishing that self-awareness, first of all, and that consciousness of the number one person that's holding you back, and it's you. So we're not a bunch of quotes, and we're not a bunch of metaphors, and we're not positive training people. We are teaching you how to face those ugly emotions and the fight or flight that rears its ugly head and holds you back from the smallest of things to the biggest of things. And that's that. And we just had to record it today.
Yeah, and one of the cool things about what we do is that as you go through the training and as you practice, you're building that muscle so that every time you do it, it gets easier and easier and easier. So you're building that muscle, so every time you go to reach and pick up something, it feels lighter and it's easier to, it's just easier to manage.
Whether that's a conversation with someone,
Yeah.
starting a new project, writing a book, going to the gym, you build that self-awareness that the roar gets lower and lower and lower, and you still, despite other people's reactions to your choices, you can manage your emotions around it and still keep moving forward and keep doing it over and over again until you get there, and then you're on to your next thing, really,
Yeah.
or the next level of it. So
But it feels like liberation. That's pretty incredible.
So that's that for now. Big stuff. It is actually really big stuff, but
Yeah.
we're just documenting it. We may share it. We may share pieces of it. We may not, but we just wanted to get it on file. So bye for now, and stay tuned because we'll be back. Thanks.
Thanks.